Good evening, everyone, from Lions Field in Sumrall, Mississippi. It's time for the second season for area high school football teams. District 7 4A play begins tonight as the Sumrall Bobcats host the Purvis Tornadoes, annually called the Battle of Highway 589. Perfect weather conditions here tonight as the Bobcats will sport their Columbia blue uniforms. The Purvis Tornadoes will be in all white with their gold helmets. Of course, Purvis at the other end of 589 down toward Pearl River County, the southern end. Sumrall in the northwest corner of Lamar County on Highway 589. The Tornadoes have won the toss and have deferred to the second half, so the Sumrall Bobcats have elected to receive the football for tonight's game. I'm Kelly Sanner, glad to have you with us tonight in Sumrall. I mentioned the beginning of the second season because in high school football, really, when you look at it, there are three separate seasons. One, the pre-district campaign, which the Bobcats of Sumrall ran the table, going 6-0. But the second season is district play because it is the district games that determine who goes to the playoffs and who stays home. 4 of the 6 teams in District 7 4A will make the playoffs. And when you look at the standings right now, but again, these are overall records, and overall records really don't mean anything once the district campaign begins. But Sumrall leading the way with a 6-0 mark, the first time since 1988 that a football team at Sumrall has had such a prolific start. Poplarville, the king of the hill, and the school that most outsiders say is the team to beat in District 7 4A. Poplarville is 4-1 on the season. They had a bye week this year. Lawrence County is 4-2. Lawrence County will be who the Bobcats play next week as Sumrall travels to Monticello. Greene County is 4-2, so Greene County is a team that you certainly can't take for granted, and Greene County will play actually at Purvis next week. It'll be homecoming on campus at Purvis next week. And then rounding out the standings, Purvis, the Tornadoes come in here 1-4, and then Forest County AHS at 1-5. Again, Purvis took a bye week. The Aggies did not. Forest County getting its first win last week on the road and are at home tonight against Lawrence County to begin district play. But again, it's the district games that count. So you could lose every single game in pre-district, but if you play well in Region 7 4A play and are one of the top 4 teams in region play, then you'll get to go to the playoffs. Looking at other games on the Region 7 4A schedule tonight, Poplarville is at Greene County. That is a big matchup in Region 7 4A because those two teams are expected to be among the 4 that are battling for the top spot. So we'll keep you posted on that one as part of the Primerica Financial Services scoreboard. We mentioned Lawrence County is at Forest County AHS in other action tonight. Of course, Purvis here at Sumrall. So lots of action taking place, and this is the last Friday in the month of September, so that means our heat timeouts will be implemented tonight, but will go the way of the Buffalo next week when we get into the month of October, and there's supposed to be just a slight cool down, and the heat timeouts will not be implemented next week as the players get a little bit deeper into the calendar, and you hope that they're a little bit better conditioned. So things getting ready to roll here tonight. It is Military Appreciation Night here at Lions Field, where members of the military were saluted, also former cheerleaders that donned uniforms at one time here at Sumrall were also saluted, and some of them still did a pretty good job of doing the old round-offs and backflips and all those sorts of things that cheerleaders do. So congratulations to the former cheerleaders that were saluted tonight and members of the military for their sacrifice that allows us to live in a free country, the United States of America. After the Bobcats play here tonight, it is on to Monticello next week against Lawrence County, a team that really likes to run the football and has had great success so far this year. So it could be anybody's race in 7-4A. The third season, we talked about the first season being pre-district, the second season that begins tonight, which is district play, and then, of course, the third season, which is post-season, but only 4 of the 6 teams in Region 7-4A will get to go to the playoffs. And other games involving Lamar County schools tonight. Oak Grove opens its 6A region play when it travels to Petal tonight, going across the river to the Friendly City. And in 1A action, Lumberton is at East Marion. So you see the Bobcats and the Tornadoes making their way to their respective sidelines. Again, Sumrall will receive the football to begin the game. Tornadoes won the toss and deferred to the second half. Brandt Hankins, in his first year as head coach of the Purvis Tornadoes, comes in here with a young squad. He'll start 6 sophomores on the defensive side of the ball. In Sumrall, it was really a tale of 2 halves last week, where the Bobcats stubbed themselves in the foot in the first half and got lit up in the first half against Pass Christian. But in the second half of the ball game, Shannon White said his kids knew what to do all along. It was just a matter of them deciding they wanted to do it. They did, turned it around in the second half, and walked away with a victory against Pass Christian. So the Tornadoes getting ready to kick this one away. Brandt Hankins, we mentioned in his first year. Brandt Hankins returning to Purvis, his hometown. He was a long-time defensive coordinator at Purvis, and prior to that was at Forest County AHS, where he coached for and with Larry Dolan, who is now the defensive coordinator at Oak Grove. So glad that you're with us here on our Sumrall Athletics YouTube channel on a beautiful night. The Battle of 589 getting ready to get underway here. Noah Bryant kicks a low liner that is fielded at about the 35-yard line. Barrett cutting up the middle on the return, gets across the midfield stripe down to the Purvis 45-yard line. So away they go now. Nice job on the return by Barrett. So here we go on 1st and 10. The Tornadoes working left to right, or west to east. Or no, that would be south to north. I'm getting my directions mixed up a little bit here. South to north. Looking to the sideline as the signals are flashed in. Again, the Tornadoes will run a 3-down defensive set on the give and go. It is Tyreke Preston. Big hole up the middle. Tyreke Preston rambles inside the 25, is down at the 24-yard line. He was stopped on the play by Jesse Johnson, the junior in the secondary for Purvis, but a big gain on 1st down. And the Rawcats are at the 25-yard line of Purvis, just underway here tonight at Lions Field with 11:40 left to go here in the first quarter. Dennis Jackson at quarterback, Tyreke Preston in the backfield. But remember that Sumrall will use sometimes 5 or 6 different men to run the football, including Dennis Jackson at quarterback. Man in motion to the near side is Cocroft. It's a direct snap to Jackson. He'll run it to the near side and is escorted out at about the 16-yard line. Again knocked out by Jesse Johnson. Jesse Johnson, a terrific baseball player who's just a junior. He's going to be making all kinds of national headlines as a baseball player for Purvis. It's a gain of 9, 2nd down and 1. These Carolina blue uniforms, the Bobcats have been waiting on a long time, so they want to get use out of them. It is kind of a neat color scheme, and guys were really looking forward to getting those. Hands it off to Preston, and Preston is stacked up at the middle of the line. Maybe got forward for the 1st down, but not a whole lot more. It was Abram Sandifer making the tackle for Purvis. They'll say that he is short by maybe half a yard, and now they will bring the chain gang in to try to measure this one with 10:58 left to go. But either way, they are inside of the Sumrall Lawn Care red zone. Though it's football season, the pros at Sumrall Lawn Service are busy every season. Whether it's mowing, edging, tree trimming, or bush hogging, Richie and Jim Sumrall have over 20 years of experience making your lawn be something you can be proud of. Like the Bobcats on the field, Sumrall Lawn Care knows what it takes to win and how to make your home landscape a winner. Sumrall Lawn Care salutes Bobcat Graham Freeman and wishes him luck this season. Proud supporters of the Bobcats. Sumrall Lawn Care, sponsors of the Bobcat Red Zone. And it is a first down after the measurement. So a fresh set of downs. We'll get the Bobcat offense to work here. The first series of the night with 10:58 left to go here in the first quarter. This time, Preston will be to the left of Jackson with a three-man stack receiving core to the left. That's where Jackson rolls. Wants to throw across his body. Can he find anybody? Lofts it toward the end zone. Back of the end zone. That is Zane Berry, and that is a Bobcat touchdown. A 16-yard touchdown pass from Dennis Jackson, who drew a lot of attention when he rolled to the left. The linebackers had to respect his ability to run. And Zane Berry just planted his feet at the end of the end zone, just inside the baseline back there. Dennis Jackson floated it in there for the touchdown pass. So Bryson Smith on to try to add the extra point out of the hold of Marshall Phillips. Snap is back, the kick is up, and this kick is good. With 10:38 left to go in the first quarter, didn't take long for the Bobcats to draw first blood. It's 7-0 Sumrall. The Bobcats getting ready to kick it away. Time for your Sumrall roll call. Wherever you are watching or listening to the game from tonight, we'd love to hear from you at area code 601-310-7077. That's 601-310-7077. Christy Martin watching on her laptop down in Louisiana. Christy, a big Bobcat fan and a graduate of Sumrall High School. So where are you tonight? At 601-310-7077. Other sponsors include Primerica Financial Services, Grand Bank, sponsors of the halftime show. And we'll be talking tonight with the president of the Gridiron Club, James Burnham, in his 6th year as president of the Gridiron Club. Dandy Dan's in Bellevue and Sumrall, also sponsors of Bobcats on the Web. The Tornadoes really botched this kickoff, letting it go right between the receivers, and Cade Sherrill had to go back and get it. He fumbled it, and by the time he picked it up, he was thrown down at the 5-yard line. So the Tornadoes have their backs against the wall here early on, trailing Sumrall 7-0 in the battle of 589. So James Burnham coming up on the halftime show. We'll also be hearing from our Sumrall State Farm Insurance agent, Stacy Clark Temple, with our second quarter music trivia question tonight, dealing with groups of the 1980s. So you parents ought to be able to maybe answer this one. Groups from the 80s. Handoff right straight up the middle, just trying to get some breathing room. And up to about the 10-yard line for the Tornadoes. Again, Purvis, a young football team, had to replace a lot of their linemen, which has been the bread and butter for Purvis programs over the years. So 2nd down and 6 after the direct snap. Handoff again. They'll try to string out the Sumrall offense, and finding some yards is Wayne Ray over into the far side. Mason Kendrick, the senior quarterback for Sumrall, or for Purvis rather, on the handoff to Ray, just short of the first down. So 3rd down and 1 coming up. 9:48 left to go here in the first quarter in the battle of 589. Coach Fortenberry, the defensive coordinator for Sumrall, making the call here on 3rd and short. It's about 3rd and a yard. Kendrick calls for the football, hands it off left tackle, and stacked up at about the 17-yard line, maybe forward progress. That should be enough for a Purvis first down. Again, Ray on the carry for Purvis. Carter Hankins is watching the game on the river with Blake Pugh and Jordan Mullis. Glad to have Carter Hankins with us. His dad, the head coach of Purvis. Carter, one of the quarterbacks at Southern Miss, is over in Auburn, Alabama tonight, getting ready for the big game tomorrow. Judy Huey and Philip Thompson are watching from Huntsville, Alabama. Glad to have them with us as well. On a first down, it's a pitch sweep to the near side. Not Ray this time, but rather Cade Sherrill. Sherrill wiggles his way across the 20 up to about the 23-yard line. Looks like a gain of about 5 or 6 there. So the Tornadoes keeping it on the ground. Clock moving with 9:08 left to go here in the first quarter, the first series of the night here for the Purvis Tornadoes. Mason Kendrick now running in from the sideline to bring in the play. That big, thick defensive front for Sumrall, including Solomon Landrum. He's up there. On second down, they'll try the middle part of the line. Good blocking by the Tornadoes. Getting up across the 30 to about the 31-yard line for a first down rush is Wayne Ray. He was tackled there by Greenwood. And one of the Bobcats is down on the near side of the field. Hope it's just a cramp. Ashanti Cocroft, it appears, is the Bobcat there that is favoring that right heel. You hope it's just maybe a calf cramp or something that he can work out, because although it's a little bit cooler tonight, it is still very damp. Humidity in South Mississippi. It's only humid in days that end in Y in South Mississippi. You all know that. 8:33 left to go. It is a first down for the Tornadoes. They have the football at their own 31-yard line. Nick Eccles on the left side of that defensive line, along with Cole Daniels, the super sophomore. The give and go again to Wayne Ray. Ray trying to spread out the Sumrall defense, but maybe got back to the line of scrimmage before Solomon Landrum took him down, along with Eccles. No gain on the play. Second down and 10 for the Tornadoes as we begin District 7 4A play. These are the games that count. They are so much more important than non-district games, because this determines who gets to play in the playoffs and potentially play for a state championship at M.M. Roberts Stadium on the campus of Southern Miss the last weekend in November. That is not Thanksgiving weekend, but the weekend after that. 7:38 in the first quarter, second and 10. Kendrick rolls to his left, dumps the ball to his tight end. It's caught at the 45-yard line. Making that catch is Adam Rayburn. Rayburn on the catch. Hayden Pettigo rode him out of bounds. Might be just short, and is by about a yard. So 3rd and 1 coming up. A nice play by Kendrick to Rayburn. But again, 3rd and short. And the Tornadoes have used that power game to run it right straight ahead. Matthew Riles is on the left side of that line for Purvis, wearing the same number his dad wore, Chris Riles. Chris Riles went on to Southern Miss to block for Brett Favre. That's a handoff over left tackle up to about the 43-yard line. That'll be enough for a Purvis first down as Wayne Ray comes up with enough on the run to move the chains. Pettigo on the tackle for Sumrall, but it will be enough to move the chains for the Tornadoes of Purvis. One possession for each team. Sumrall took 1:22 to drive it down the field and score. A very slow, methodical drive here. Raymond McRaney is watching in Marrero, Louisiana. Raymond McRaney, a big Bobcat fan as well, an alum. Wants to throw. This ball is thrown over everybody. Mason Kendrick had nobody open, and rather than chance maybe throwing into double coverage and getting an interception, he just threw it away, essentially. Stopping the clock. It brings up a second down and 10. Eccles checks out for Sumrall. Justice Hanberry in for the Rawl Cats, and Justice Farrall in there. That linebacking core includes the Quack Attack. Carson Duck, Devin Goolsby has been a strong performer for Sumrall. Pettigo in there as well. In the secondary, Cocroft is back there, so is Nigel Coleman. Also in the secondary, Darren Coney. Handoff right side. The whole scrum moving forward. And maybe forward progress, gain of about 5 on the play. And there's our first heat timeout with 5 minutes, 59 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. And it's interesting because, again, only one possession for each of the teams. The Bobcats know how important it is to get a quick start, and so too your friends at Dandy Dan's Chevron in Bellevue. Whether it's their complete line of fresh, always hot coffees, to Miss Betty's sausage and egg biscuits, Dandy Dan's in Bellevue has your quick start covered. For lunch, try the daily special plate lunches that are available to you at Dandy Dan's Chevron in Bellevue. The smiles are always warm and the drinks ice cold. Proud supporters of Sumrall Football and all local schools. Dandy Dan's in Bellevue on Highway 589. So the heat timeout is over. The Bobcats playing defense here. This drive started at the Tornadoes' own 5-yard line and has gobbled up all but 1:22 of this quarter. But after that gain of about 6, it brings up a 3rd and 4 now. Mason Kendrick at quarterback. Kendrick, the senior, with backs split each direction. They give it to Wayne Ray. Ray cuts it up the field and has enough for the first down before he's pushed out at about the 39-yard line of Sumrall. So the Tornadoes being very efficient on the ground. Talking to Brandt Hankins before the game tonight, he said one of the things we have to do is keep the ball away from the Sumrall offense. We know how potent the Sumrall offense is, as evidenced by the fact that it only took them 1:22 to get it down the field and score. So this is by design for Purvis. Slow, systematic drives that keep the ball out of the hands of the Sumrall offense. Big hole up the middle, inside the 30, rambling down there is Brian Bennett, the senior running back. Bennett at about the 30-yard line. That's a first down. And Purvis, again, the bread and butter of Tornado teams year in and year out has been big, strong, physical offensive lines that tend to blow holes open for efficient runners. 1st and 10. Handoff right side, but he runs right into Cole Daniels. Wayne Ray got blown up as Cole Daniels threw him to the ground after meeting him in the backfield. A loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play. And that's just a flash of a little bit of what you're going to see from Cole Daniels the next couple years. Cole Daniels, just a sophomore, has the ability, the strength, and the size to be a premier player at the Division I level. Stay tuned. 2nd down and 12. Tornadoes working right to left from the right side of the field. Kendricks fumbled the football and then had to try to make something out of nothing and dove forward, but Greenwood tackled him for Sumrall. Maybe got back to the original line of scrimmage. So 3rd down and 11 coming up. Dennis Jackson checks into the secondary for the Rawcats. Darren Coney coming out. 7-0 Sumrall with 4:12 left to go here in the first quarter, and a big 3rd down play here for the Sumrall defense, which has been pliable so far here in the first quarter. 10 seconds left on the play clock. Empty backfield for Mason Kendrick. Kendrick now puts a man in motion. Fakes it to him, throws across the middle. The pass is caught again by the tight end, Adam Rayborn, but he got stuck immediately after making the catch. He got drilled right in the back as he went up across the middle, did the old down and in when you're playing sandlot football, down at about the 18-yard line, made the catch and remarkably hung on to it. So Adam Rayborn with his 2nd reception of the night, and this was a big one as it was 1st down for the Tornadoes. And I think he probably just got the wind knocked out of him, but because he's a big youngin'. You got to have some size to play that tight end position. And he took a lick. I think it might have been Coleman that hammered him down there. It is 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes. We mentioned Matthew Riles on the left side of that line. Again, his dad, Chris Riles, was a great player for Jack Kraft back in the day with Purvis High School. And Chris went on to Southern Miss to have certainly a notable career. 1st and 10, Kendrick again at quarterback. They pitch it to him, and again, this time it's Solomon Landrum in the backfield. And wraps up Cade Sherrill for a loss of about 5, maybe 6 on the play. So Solomon Landrum, not to be outdone by Cole Daniels, goes in there and blows up a play of his own. 2nd down, 3 minutes, 13 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Sumrall leads Purvis 7-0. The Rawcats looking to go 7-0. But more importantly, 1-0 in district play. And Mason Kendrick wants to call timeout. One of the assistant coaches at Purvis is Kyle Dolan. Of course, Kyle Dolan's dad, Larry, we mentioned earlier, is the defensive coordinator at Oak Grove. And we'll be trying to get you some scores from other games, not only around the Region 7-4A, but also the schools in the county. Oak Grove and Petal are playing tonight over in the Friendly City. Lumberton is playing at East Marion. Other games in the region, no score between Poplarville and Greene County. They're in the late first quarter there. Lawrence County and FCAHS are scoreless. Oak Grove has hit pay dirt first against Petal. It's 6-0 Oak Grove. Pending the extra point, that game, as we mentioned, over at Petal, East Marion and Lumberton, no score. All of our scores from around the area brought to you by our friends at Primerica Financial Services. 2nd down and about 16 now for the Tornadoes. Again, working east to west. Mrs. Patricia Wolf, an art teacher, is watching the game tonight. Throw to the end zone, wide open, and into the end zone for a Tornado touchdown is Casey Burge. Burge got wide open beyond the secondary for Sumrall, was wide open, and Kendrick just threw it up to him, and it was an easy catch. So the Tornadoes in this battle of 589, with emotions running so high, could possibly tie it as Noah Bryant comes on to try to add the extra point. Longtime place kicker Brady Farlow for Purvis, now kicking at Louisiana Tech. So they've had some great kickers in Purvis. This kick is up, and it's good. With 2:52 left in the first quarter, it is 7-all. Glad to have Mrs. Patricia Wolf. Says she's going to show the game highlights in class next week. Well, I don't know how long classes are, but hopefully there will be a lot of highlights to show. Game 1 of the second season, which is the district campaign. It's one thing to play with a little swagger in pre-district, but these are the big ones. These are the ones that count. And both teams have hit pay dirt early on. College football games tomorrow. Southern Miss is at Auburn. We mentioned Carter Hankins watching the game. Glad to have Hank on board. The return of Dan Mullen in Starkville tomorrow night, where Florida plays Mississippi State. That's a 6 o'clock start. And then a really late game down at Baton Rouge tomorrow night, where Hotty Toddy will play LSU. Pooch kick is short and fielded up at about the 37-yard line. Obviously the strategy there for Purvis not to give Sumrall an opportunity to return it. Matthew Cronin was the man that snagged it for the Rawcats, and it'll be 1st and 10 in this 7-7 ball game. The Tornadoes and the Bobcats. And I don't know what a record would be for attendance at a Sumrall High School football game, but they are hanging from the rafters here tonight. First and 10 for Sumrall. Trip receivers to the near side of the field for Dennis Jackson with Tyreke Preston on the left. Jackson will run it himself. Tries it up the middle and wiggles free and gets up to about the 45-yard line. It looked like he was going to be stopped there, but he was able to get away. Finally, Tanner Hatton put him to the ground after a gain of 7, brings up a second down and 3 with 2:25 left to go here in the first quarter. Again, the first quarter's almost over, but each team up until this series had the football just one time. Sumrall on the touchdown pass to Zane Berry took the lead. From the 601 area code, watching from home, y'all do a good job. Keep up the good work and go Bobcats. Dennis Jackson, again, will try the middle part of the field. He's got first down yardage, looking for some blockers downfield. Cuts it back to the middle, spins away, and Dennis Jackson gets inside the 35-yard line to the 34. What a play by senior quarterback Dennis Jackson. And considering he was supposed to be a wide receiver for this team, you remember. But when big-time Billy Garrity went down with an injury, Dennis was called upon to be the signal caller. First and 10 for Sumrall at the Purvis 33-yard line. 1 minute, 46 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Glad that you're with us. Got some movement on the left side of the Sumrall line. This will cost the Bobcats 5. And I think that was Justice Hanberry that might have moved. I hope he doesn't get mad at me for calling his name. Justice is a big kid. First and 15 now. With his stack receivers to each side. Swing pass out into the flat over the head of Barrett, the lion-hearted. Hayden, the lion-hearted Barrett. Over his head, it brings up now a third. Or it is a second down, rather. Because that false start penalty, they never ran a play. So now it's second down and about 15, but the pass incompletion stops the clock with 1:41 left to go. Well, Preston, it's a low snap. Dennis Jackson had to pull it up off the floor. Rolls to his right, wants to throw. Can't find anybody now and just will do the best he can. And then he got horse-collared, and here's a flag down at the 35. Boy, he really got spun around. And Riles was the man that got him by the collar. And if you've ever met Matthew Riles, you know he would not do anything intentionally to hurt anybody. But it clearly was a horse collar. So Sumrall will be the recipient of some free yardage here. Down to the 20-yard line, and that'll be a first down for the Rawcats with 1:28 left to go. Sumrall and Purvis. Oak Grove's kind of the halfway point between these two communities. Jackson with Preston to his left. Jackson rolls, acts like he wants to run, then throws it to Preston. Tyreke Preston into the end zone. That's a Bobcat touchdown. Similar type situation as the first touchdown for Sumrall. Dennis Jackson looking like he was going to run. By rolling to his left, of course, that freezes the linebackers. And Tyreke Preston knew that he was going to throw it and just kept advancing toward the end zone and took it in. So a 16-yard touchdown pass and a 20-yard touchdown pass. One to Zane Berry and one to Tyreke Preston. The extra point kick by Bryson Smith is up and good. 1:17 left to go here in the first quarter. Sumrall leads Purvis 14-7. Oak Grove missed the extra point, and the Pendle Panthers have come back to score a touchdown and added the extra point. So it's 7-6 Pendle over Oak Grove. No score in the second quarter between Poplarville and Greene County. That is a game that everybody is watching with particular interest. Forest County AHS and Lawrence County are scoreless. That's late first quarter. And Lumberton has scored at East Marion. It's homecoming on campus. I don't know who the genius was that scheduled Lumberton for the homecoming game. That wasn't a good idea. Lumberton leading East Marion 7-0. All of our scores brought to you by our friends at Primerica Financial Services. Bryson Smith to kick it away. The Tornadoes really had trouble handling the last kick. This is a low squibber as well. High hop that's touched and will have to be taken by the second man through and is hit immediately. Adarius Spearman went flying in there and nailed the return man, Wayne Ray. So one of the things I'm sure that Brandt Hankins and his crew will want to work on are special teams in the off week. Can share some notes with the Bobcats because the Bobcats certainly had some issues earlier in the season, but they have worked those out seemingly. 1:09 left to go here in the first quarter. Purvis with the football again. And Landrum on the right end. See him with that towel sticking out there. Handoff. They're going to try this side, and not much room there. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Nigel Coleman came up to make the stop along with Nick Eccles. Call it a meager gain of about half a yard. Second down coming up. Tornadoes might be able to run one more play before the end of the first quarter. Great rivalry. The Purvis side is completely full. And I don't know where they're putting all the people on the Sumrall side. They are still coming in. It's going to be a late night just getting out of Lions Field tonight here in Sumrall. Second down and 10. 30 seconds left to go. Wants to throw. Slings it across the middle. This is overthrown and intercepted. Nigel Coleman was back there along with Darren Coney. And Mason Kendrick's pass was overthrown. The receiver might have stopped a step or two short. And that's a pick. The Bobcats have it at the Nader 45-yard line. Well, we've been some great coaches at Sumrall and Purvis over the years. Of course, Neville Barr was here in 1988, the last time a Sumrall team started out a season undefeated like this team has. Purvis has had the likes of Jack Kraft, Jim Sizemore, Perry Wheat. Handoff to Tyreke Preston on the delay, and he is hit and dropped. No gain on the play. Eli Barrett, the junior middle linebacker, on the stop there for the Tornadoes. No gain, brings up a second down and 10, and that will bring to an end the first quarter. Here at Lions Field in Sumrall, it's the Bobcats 14, the Tornadoes 7. In the NFL this weekend, the New Orleans Saints have a late game on Sunday afternoon. They will go to the Meadowlands up in New York to take on the Giants. Miami and New England are playing in New England, but this time instead of New England being undefeated, it is Miami that is undefeated. And the Patriots struggling a little bit, but remember, that's kind of how the Patriots started out last year and then got it together. And then a big game in Baltimore in the AFC North, the Ravens and the Steelers. Certainly no love lost between those two teams. Gotta love football season. So Sumrall getting back to work here. Lawson Graves on the offensive line, also there for Sumrall. Hayden Pedigo on the line. Christian Clinton on the other side of John Failer, the center. Dennis Ray Jackson at quarterback at the 50-yard line. Now putting a man in motion, that's Cocroft. They give it to Cocroft. He's trying to find the corner, but the Tornadoes are all over him, and down he goes. A whole bunch of Tornado uniforms were there, including the likes of Brandon Hartfield. A terrific loss on the play there. Brings up a third down and about 20 for Sumrall with 11:32 left to go here in the second quarter. We'll be bringing you our State Farm music trivia question brought to you by Stacy Clark Temple. If you know anything about the 1980s, get ready to text in the answer. Third down now. Jackson rolls to his left, wants to throw again. Anybody open? Fakes the throw. And this time he will be pushed out of bounds. Another loss on the play. So for the first time tonight, you'll see Payne Phillips checking into the ball game. He's the Sumrall punter. And I have to say that because he's not out there very much, as good as that Sumrall offense tends to be. Purvis hanging tough. Jesse Johnson is back to return it for Purvis. Johnson, a terrific baseball player. If you've never seen Jesse play a baseball game, and you will this coming season. If you haven't, remember, he's just a junior. Before the snap is away, a whistle blows, and Purvis calls timeout. So the Tornadoes will burn their second timeout. So they've got just one left. So while we get a chance, we'll ask you the trivia question. It's not just a home or a car. It's the 6 months you've saved for that HD flat screen just in time for football season, and the overtime that you worked for that third car so that your team can drive themselves to school, while other insurance companies just see them as a bundle or a combo. State Farm agent Stacy Clark Temple sees your home and car as things that you really work hard for. Stacy Clark Temple understands what your things really mean to you and is here to help you give them the protection they deserve. Talk to State Farm agent Stacy Clark Temple in Sumrall for your home and auto insurance today. And we'll bring you that question in just a moment here as Sumrall in punt formation. Ashanti Cocroft, who is out of the game with that cramp a little while ago now, is back in. Phillips at his own 30-yard line. It's a good snap, no pressure by Purvis. And Phillips gets the kick away. Johnson will field it. He touched the ball and it got through his hands, and he had to fall back on top of it. A nearly fatal mistake for Johnson. Now Sumrall says that they've got it. It might have squirted out from underneath Johnson. The Italian stallion, T.J. Varnado, was the man that recovered it for Sumrall, and the Bobcats are credited with the turnover. Second turnover of the game so far for Purvis. In retrospect, Johnson probably should have just let that ball go and let the Bobcats down it, but he tried to control it. And the football being so oddly shaped, it's difficult to hang on to sometimes. Got out from underneath Johnson, and the Stallion jumped on top of it. So it's a first down for Sumrall. They spotted it about the 15-yard line. No, now they're giving it to Purvis. The indication initially was that Sumrall got the ball, but the ball must have squirted loose, but Johnson's knee had already touched the ground. That's the word we're getting. So it was declared down, and Purvis begins now. 1st and 10 at its own 14-yard line. So erase the turnover, but Sumrall has been the recipient of one. It was an interception on a Kendrick pass. The Tornadoes had a man come in at the last minute, and that's going to be an illegal substitution. Flag comes down because he was not in the huddle. They were a man short, and a receiver just came onto the field without being in the huddle. It is against Purvis. So this will mark them back with 10:38 left to go in the second quarter. Sumrall leading the Battle of 589, 14-7. The Sumrall defense has been getting gouged a time or two on the ground, but other times they have had great defensive pursuit, getting to that backfield of Purvis. Chris Fortenberry on the sideline signaling the defensive set for the Bobcats. 4 down linemen. Kendrick wanting the football, gets it, and will hand it off. Trying the right side, nothing there for Wayne Ray, and he's gobbled up. Not a significant gain there as we get now under 10 minutes left to go in half. Sumrall leading Purvis 14-7. It's actually a loss of about a two on the play. So second down. No, actually a gain of about 2 because of that 5-yard penalty. So Kendrick, man in motion to the near side. Kendrick wants to throw, and he is hit on the blitz. Solomon Landrum came in and threw him into the end zone. It will not be called a safety because he got hit at the 1. So forward progress. They'll spot it at the 1, but man, Solly was flying in like a dart on the right side, and he clobbered him. So third down and forever. The Tornadoes have the football at their own 2-yard line. Kendrick has to be careful here because an interception would be deep in its own end of the field. Sumrall showing blitz. Here comes a run to the outside. Goolsby was knocked out of the play and then lowering a shoulder. Nigel Coleman leveling Jesse Johnson up at about the 14-yard line. They won't have near enough for the first down. But the tight end, Adam Rayborn, took another hit. He's already been down tonight. Rayborn got stuck in the back on that one pass completion over the middle. So the Tornado punting unit will come in. Dennis Jackson actually back to receive this kick. With 8:42 left to go in the second quarter, there's still a Tornado down. So here's our State Farm music trivia question, and you can text us the answer at 601-310-7077. Only 2 music groups have ever had 3 #1 hits off of the very first album they've recorded and released. The Beatles, of course, were the first group to do it back in the 60s. 3 #1 hits off of their first album. Who's the only other group to do it? The only other group to have 3 #1 hits off of their first album. And your clue, of course, is it was a group in the 80s. You can text us the answer at 601-310-7077. Stacy Clark Temple, your State Farm agent, bringing you our music trivia question. Purvis in punt formation. Kick is away. Jackson will track it, but just let it go. Now picks it up. Tries to get to the outside. It's a foot race between him and Ty Radon. And Radon takes him out at about the 43-yard line. Still great position for Sumrall. John Failer, the senior center, leads the Powder Blue out onto the field. 8:19. First down. Nobody burning up this trivia question. I thought a lot of people would get this one. Again, the Beatles were the first band to have 3 #1 hits on the very first album they ever released. Who was the only other band to do it? The Bee Gees is not the correct answer. Good guess, but not right. 1st and 10. It is Tyreke Preston who is stacked up at the line of scrimmage and pushed back. No gain on the play. Bryston West, the defensive end, led the charge there for Purvis. He also got some help from Hayden Keith. Loss of about 3 on the play brings up a 2nd and 13 with 7:55 left to go in the second quarter. 3 #1 hits off of their first album. The Beatles were the first band to do it. Who was the second one to do it? It was a band from the 80s. And I'll give you a clue here in just a second. On 2nd down and 12, Tyreke Preston on the handoff. He is stacked up in the middle, spinning away. Got a gain of about 4, but a penalty marker's down on the far side of the field. So hold your tickets here. Tyler Cunningham on the tackle for Purvis. So they'll discuss this. Normally it's against the offensive team, and here it is, an illegal shift on Sumrall. Now the Eagles was already guessed. Somebody else texted in the Eagles. No, not the Bee Gees, remember, got started a long time ago. So you got to remember it was their first album. So, and the Eagles, of course, released albums in the 70s. So it was the first. Duran Duran, you're getting a little closer, but that's not right. Your clue is the lead singer had a flair for the eccentric. Let's just put it that way. The lead singer of this group had a real flair for the eccentric. Second down and about 20. Cocroft in motion to the near side. Dennis Jackson has it. He'll run it himself. Starts to the right side, cuts back to the middle, and he's wrapped up and dropped. No gain on the play. It'll bring up a third down and long. Eli Barrett on the tackle for Sumrall, or for Purvis rather. 6 minutes, 28 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Sumrall has a third down and long here. Third down and almost 20. And we've got an official's timeout on the field. And I think he'll use this opportunity to send the teams to the sideline for the Heat timeout. Again, this is the last week that the Heat timeout will be used. That is correct. Culture Club is the answer. Depeche Mode, somebody texted in Depeche Mode. That was a good band. Well, I like Depeche Mode. But no, it was Boy George and Culture Club. Had 3 #1 hits off the first album that they released. And you really wouldn't think about Culture Club being that popular, but more, it really was a cultural phenomenon. And Culture Club was just, with Boy George, was just in concert down at the IP on the coast about a month ago, 2 months ago maybe. Our music trivia question brought to you by State Farm Insurance agent Stacy Clark Temple. I think that's probably the only time you would ever lump Culture Club with the Beatles. the only other time that they would be comparable. Third down and forever for Sumrall now, 18 to be exact. Twin receivers to each side. Jackson looks like he wanted to throw, but then lost the football. The ball is loose at about the 50-yard line. The Tornadoes are, Hunter Robinson is pointing like Purvis has got it. And they do. Wayne Ray came up with it. So turnovers are even now at 1 apiece. Sumrall snagged an interception, but the Tornadoes now have a fumble. Dennis Jackson looked to pass the ball when he didn't see anybody open immediately, tried to run on one of those spins. He got the ball knocked loose. 5:45 left to go before half. Purvis now with the football as the nose of the football resting comfortably on the 50-yard line. First and 10 for senior quarterback Mason Kendrick. Kendrick, wing left, receivers to the right. Sweep to the left side. That's Brandon Hartfield. Hartfield gets down to about the 40-yard line, very near first down yardage on first down. Looks like he's about a yard short, call it a gain of 9. Second down and 1. 5:22 left to go. Coming up on the Grand Bank Halftime Show, we'll be talking with the 6-year president of the Sumrall Gridiron Club, James Burnham, about the terrific support that the Gridiron Club provides this football team and all Sumrall football teams throughout the years. Second down, Kendrick on the snap, hands it. And this time the ball got loose. Sumrall's got it. Solomon Landrum. The ball popped loose, and Landrum pulled it out of midair. And I think they're going to get Purvis here for a face mask, trying to tackle Landrum. Landrum is a handful. Well, he's about 2 or 3 handfuls. And I haven't seen the indication yet, but from my point of view, and you may have seen it too on your HD live stream, well, nothing's been marked off yet. So maybe it was an inadvertent flag, but it looked like to me that when Solly was taken down, one of the defenders for Purvis grabbed him by the face mask. I was sure that was going to be the call. But nonetheless, it's 1st and 10 for the Bobcats. They have the football at their own 43. Back in business again, just like that on the turnover. Tyreke Preston bangs ahead to the 50-yard line. Pickup of about 7 on that play. Tyler Cunningham on the stop for Purvis. Zane Berry walking to the near side of the field. He's got a touchdown reception tonight, 16 yards. Good to see Zane back in the lineup. And Preston has the other touchdown reception out of the backfield with 4:21 left to go. 2nd down. Jackson on the give and go. Tyreke Preston again. Looked like the exact same play. Carrying Tornadoes with him all the way to the 40-yard line. Cade Sherrill on the tackle. But that's a Rawcat 1st down. Sumrall 6-0. Looking to make it 7 as they take on Lawrence County next week over in Monticello. Lawrence County in Brooklyn tonight, taking on the resurgent Aggies who garnered their first win of the season last week. 1st and 10. Jackson on the direct snap. Evades one tackler, now cuts to the outside and is pushed out at about the 32. Jackson wisely, when he gets into heavy traffic, he wisely will take himself out of the play. Obviously nobody wants to get hurt, but also knowing that as a quarterback, he wants to be available for his team since Big Time Billy is out for the season. We near 3 minutes left to go in the first half. Sumrall leading Purvis 14-7. 13 seconds left on the play clock as they're still looking for the call to be signaled in. Tate Davis on that right end over there, wing right. Now man in motion, that's Cocroft, and they give it to him. Cocroft looking for some blockers and finds some. Gets down to about the 20 before he's taken out of bounds. Nice play by Gabe Cocroft. Gabe is the junior, and Ashanti Cocroft is the senior. So that's a chain mover. Sumrall now, the official spot is about the 23-yard line with 2:39 left to go. Sumrall looking to extend a lead. Remember, the Tornadoes will get the football to begin the second half because Purvis won the coin toss and deferred to the second half. Jackson on the snap, rolls to his left, wants to throw again, does, and he was looking for Zane Berry, but Zane stopped the route. Cocroft looked like he was open maybe across the middle, but Dennis had eyes for Zane right away. Incomplete. Brings up a 2nd down and 10. With Tyreke Preston in the backfield. Cocroft and Berry to the near side. Right here, a field goal would be about 40 yards, so they would certainly want to work it closer. Hands it off to Tyreke Preston, who's got a nice hole inside the 15 down to about the 12. That'll be close to another Rawcat 1st down. Christian Clinton with a nice block. Lawson Graves, a junior offensive lineman, also getting it done up front. So they were just short, so 3rd and 1. I would think Sumrall's probably in 4-down territory here. Hands it off up the middle, diving down and plunging inside the 10 to about the 9 again is Preston. And that should be enough. Look at Hayden Pedigo, a senior. He's not as tall as some of the other linemen, but he's really thick and smart. That's what you got to be an offensive lineman. It is a 1st down at the 9. Clock moving with 1:44 left to go. Dennis Jackson direct snap. Cuts it back in the middle. Spins inside the 5. And down at about the 5-yard line. Sumrall may have to implement some timeouts. He was tackled there by Brian Bennett. He got to the 5-yard line. 1:25. left to go. Still plenty of time, but they'll go ahead and burn one here. So Sumrall certainly being this close to the end zone, wanting to make sure that they get it right. Dandy Dan's Chevron in Sumrall is the go-to one-stop shop in Sumrall. Open at 6 a.m. Whether you need a quick soft drink or maybe the different types of fuel that they have there, Dandy Dan's, like the Bobcat defense, won't let you down. Dandy Dan's Chevron in Sumrall is the proud sponsor of the Offensive Player of the Game and wishes Coach Shannon White and the team good luck in its quest for a district and state championship. Dandy Dan's in Sumrall on Highway 42, right across from the middle school, open at 6 a.m. That open at 6 a.m. is more important for us older folks who like to get up early. I'm sure you tell that to students who are going, oh, 6 a.m. There will come a time when you'll like that 6 o'clock wake-up call. 1:16 left to go. Back at the ranch, the Rollcats have a second down and goal from the 5-yard line, looking to extend a 14-7 lead. With the Grand Bank halftime show coming your way momentarily. Both the Purvis and Sumrall bands will be performing at halftime. So here we go. Dennis Jackson, the handoff to Tyreke Preston. Preston into the end zone. That's a Bobcat touchdown. He was following his blockers over the left side. So the Bobcats on to extend the lead to 21-7. Bryson Smith, who's got a promising career, just a freshman. This kick is up, and it is good. Boy, it's so important to have a good kicker. And Sumrall's got a couple of them. 1:14 left to go, and Sumrall leads it now 21-7. Boy, a big shot in the arm there for Sumrall because, again, the Bobcats have to play defense the first series of the second half. Sumrall and Purvis in District 7 4A play. Trying to get you updated on other scores from around the area. Poplarville has kicked a field goal. Poplarville leading Greene County 3-0. That is a halftime score. Oak Grove has gone ahead of Petal 12-7. Oak Grove leading Petal over in the Friendly City. Lawrence County and Forest County still scoreless in the first. Lumberton walloping East Marion 21-0. That game is at East Marion. And that is homecoming on campus at East Marion. Again, not really a good move to schedule Lumberton for your homecoming game. The kick is away. It's a knuckler at about the 24-yard line, picked up by Casey Burge, and Burge is met rudely by a host of Bobcats at about the 25-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes. According to my statistics, they've got 2 timeouts left. That should they get something going here toward this other end of the field, that they would try to use those. Poplarville and Greene County, as we mentioned, 3-0. They've gone to half in Leakesville. All of our scores brought to you by our friends at Primerica Financial Services. We're waiting to get the kicking tee off of the field. Lots of teams in the NFL are actually training dogs to do that now. As soon as the play stops, they send out like a border collie to go out and grab the tee and bring it back. Handoff up the middle. Wayne Ray found a little bit of daylight up to about the 29-yard line. Call it a gain of about 3. 2nd down and 7 coming up as we are south of a minute left to go. The quack attack in there on the stop for Sumrall. Carson Duck, who had a whale of a game last week. 36 seconds left to go. Don't forget to text us. Let us know where you're watching the game. 601 3-1-0-7-0-7-7. An errant snap. Kendrick has to go back and just fall on it at the 10-yard line. Justice Hanbury was the first Bobcat there to touch him and stop the play. And with that, Purvis will just say, look, let's get out of here. They do not have to snap the ball again as we head to half. And I don't think they will. 7 seconds left. Sumrall will lead this one 21-7. Going into halftime, but again, the Tornadoes will receive the football to begin the second half of play. So half of the Battle of 589 is over. And Sumrall's had the best of it so far as the Wildcats look to go 7-0. Leading at 21-7 here at halftime. Again, thanks to our sponsors, which include Sumrall Lawn Care, which sponsors the Red Zone. Richie and Jim Sumrall, 20 years of experience making your lawn become something you can be proud of. Sponsoring the Red Zone, and also State Farm agent Stacy Clark Temple. And the Dandy Dans in Bellevue and Sumrall. And our halftime sponsors, Grand Bank. Are you ready to buy or build your dream home? Well, Grand Bank has the perfect loan. From hassle-free construction financing to ideal programs for first-time home buyers, Grand Bank has become the preferred choice for home loan shoppers in the Pine Belt wanting low rates and quality customer service they can count on. Find out for yourself. Stop by Grand Bank in Hattiesburg and Petal, or you can call them at 601-264-1467. That's 264-1467. Grand Bank is your hometown bank, locally owned and operated, a member FDIC, and equal housing lender. And joining us up here in the booth tonight is James Burnham, the 6-year president of the Gridiron Club here at Sumrall. Was scheduled to join us last week, but nonetheless, we're glad you're here this week, Mr. Burnham.
Glad to be here.
Glad to see you. I got to make sure that we get your microphone turned up somehow here.
Try that. They can hear me. It don't matter what.
There you go. There you go, James. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Look, I know exactly what button we're working with then. So the Gridiron Club, people think lots of times, well, the school pays for things. And although that's true to a certain degree, there's a lot more things that teams need that's just not budgeted. So let's go back to how you got involved with the Gridiron Club to begin with.
Oh, I've been over here for about 12 years, and I'm just fortunate to be the president now for the past 6. I just love my little kids to death. We have, most people have 1 or 2 kids. See, I have 100, 150 kids. So I'm the most blessed daddy in the whole world.
And they're always changing.
That's right. That's right. I get new ones every year.
More kids.
But the good thing about it, the old ones come back to see me. So
yeah,
it's good.
You learn what impact you had on their life. Once they're gone, and that really does mean a lot. Now I know one of the fundraisers you guys had, and you have to be careful sometimes because these pro wrestlers, when they come to town, they know you and they know that you're going to get all over them. But that was one of the fundraisers that you guys do to raise money for the Gridiron Club. Tell me about the structure of the club and how it works.
Well, what we do, we subsidize what this a little bit the school does, but we're the main sponsor. Like we do this year, we bought the baby blue uniforms for them, about $9,000 that we bought those uniforms for the football team this year. We do pregame meals every week. This week they had steak, baked potato, salad, banana pudding. Man, it was good. Next week, we're going to have fried chicken, twice-baked cream potatoes, things like that.
Boy, and I'm down 24 pounds. And you're sitting here talking about
I'm up 24. But other things, we meet all their needs. We keep anything that the coaches need, all the sound equipment, video equipment, all this, the Gridiron sponsors all that.
But obviously, there's not an endless supply of money, right?
No, we have we have figured out how to meet all of our needs, So we're very blessed. We meet every goal that we have so far.
And the community comes through in a big way.
Oh man, we have the best community. That's the reason we try to give back every year. Like last year we recognized the 2 fallen firefighters. The year before the 2 policemen. This year we're recognizing Zach Little to give back something to the community every year because we do ask a lot of our community.
Now, do you have a board like that you work with the Gridiron?
Yes, we have a vice president is Lamar Boyd. Secretary is Dito. can't even think of her name.
That's okay. That's all right.
I'm old.
That's all right.
And the treasurer is Garrity, Beverly Garrity. So so we have a board, then we have so we get along real good.
Is it completely separate from the school? Though?
Yes.
So
100%. It costs you $100 to join the Gridiron Club every year. In that, you get to do tailgating with us. The whole family. This is a family membership. You tailgate with us. You attend the meetings. You're a voting partner in everything. You say how the money is spent.
But I would imagine as the school and the school district continues to grow, James, so too the Gridiron Club.
Yes. This is the first year we have 25 Heisman members this year.
Now you say Heisman members.
Now that's the biggie. That's a $500 membership. We have 25 of those this year, and in that you get a lot of different things. You get about a $900 value, but normally we run about 8, 10, 11. This year we have 25. So things are really looking up for our football organization.
So the Heisman is the highest level.
Yes.
What are the other levels?
And you got MVP. It's $250. Each one you just get certain things with it. But. And then the $100 is the membership for the Gridiron Club.
Now, how early? Because the season, of course, begins obviously in August, but the players are getting ready, a month prior to that. How early are you guys?
We start in June.
Okay.
And we go normally June through December. Is sort of the way we work. We work about 6 months, take about a 6-month vacation.
Well, the smart thing to do though is to get going in June when a lot of other people aren't thinking about football.
Right. Yeah, I mean, football season, used to when I was growing up, football didn't start till September. Sometime in September, it was cool weather. Now, middle of August, you have your first football game when it's 900 degrees out here.
James Burnham is with us, the 6-year president of the Gridiron Club at Sumrall. Actually, the state of Louisiana has a law where they cannot legally play a game until after Labor Day.
Really?
Of course, I don't know the difference in Louisiana between August 31st and September 7th, temperature-wise.
Not much.
No, not much for sure. But looking back on your 6 years, James, what would you say was the most bizarre request?
Oh my goodness!
Was there a piece of just weird equipment or something that you're going, what is that all about? What would you say was probably the weirdest request?
The weirdest request we've had.
Yeah.
Lord, I don't know. I don't know that we've actually had something that's just blowed me away.
Yeah.
I mean, 99% of the things is when you stop and think about it, it's actually something that's very well needed. I'm trying to think of something.
Well, if something hits you,
something hits me, I'll.
Yeah. What do you think? You talked about being blessed as an organization. What is it about this community though that does make things go so smoothly?
Well, I think this community just loves the kids. They love to invest in the kids, and the teachers and the coaches. I mean, it's just so special. The closeness that we all are. It's just wonderful.
What made you decide to want to get involved to that degree some 6 years ago?
Well, I didn't know I was going to get that involved. I mean, we have an election and
you missed the meeting, right?
No, actually, we elect new officers in November every year, and I was just fortunate, and
so
I can't get nobody to take it.
So you were just kind of a regular member.
Yeah, I was just a regular
right?
member, just attended like everybody else, and we elect a group that elects new officers every year. They'll give us 2 or 3 names for each, and then we vote on it. And the one with the most votes, that's who gets the position.
And of course, it starts really kind of with the Sumrall Youth Football League.
Yes,
you get to see because as I'm
yes.
kind of new to the family, all I heard about was this 5th grade class way back when, which are now seniors.
Right. Actually, under our umbrella starts with the 7th grade. We're 7th, 8th through varsity, and then we also have junior high cheer and high school cheer is what's under our umbrella.
But the planning for team meals and some of the things, that's no easy undertaking.
That's right. It's a. I spend all day Friday over here. I start about 6 o'clock on Fridays, and I go home at midnight like everybody else.
But even on the road, you feed them on the road?
Yes, we feed. It don't matter. And, we prepare snacks for them on their way back. Like last week when we went to Pass Christian, Gridiron was fortunate to get 2 buses for the team to ride on. So,
no yellow dogs.
No. They didn't ride on the cheese wagon. They went in style.
Hey, there's nothing like riding in style.
But we try to do that at least once a year, and then when we hit the playoff games, which we're going to be going real deep this year.
Well, Greene County and Poplarville are battling in Leakesville tonight with Poplar a 3-0 lead at halftime.
Oh, really?
Over there.
I haven't kept up with anybody tonight. I've been interested right here.
That's our job, James, is to keep you and everybody else up to date as to what's going on elsewhere. How would you describe this crowd tonight?
Oh, man, this is unreal, man.
Yeah.
I was looking. It looked like somebody stirred an ant bed up
Yes.
out here, man. It's so many people out here.
Yeah, and I did.
This is just wonderful.
I noted that the Purvis side was full, but they're eight or 10 deep along the fence all the way around.
It's just all the way around on both sides. It's just great. And then we have this band that's just unbelievable, man. And then the dance team, you know, and them cheerleaders down there, man, they cheer their hearts out. I tell you, they just.
Well, you've seen just in the 6 years that you've been president of the Gridiron Club, as we continue here on the Grand Bank Halftime Show talking to James Burnham, you've seen it's growing.
Oh, man, is it
the blue
growing.
and yellow wave is coming this way.
It's coming, son. Let me tell you, it's coming, yeah. You know, we got a lot to be proud of here. We got an excellent coaching staff. Man, I tell you what, under Coach White, he's just, I think this is his 7th year here. So.
And what does it mean to the morale of the community when the team is playing like they're playing?
Son, let me tell you, you go in, like I was in Ramey's about 10 times a day getting different things because I can't remember everything. And, man, every time
because
I'd go
you're
in.
old, right?
Yeah, I'm old. I mean,
so am I.
But they would, every time I'd go in there, there'd be 4 or 5 different people grabbing me. Man, isn't this something, man? Isn't this great, man? I mean, just people are just so gun-ho. And, I mean, all of these people are not from Sumrall. They from, you know.
Well, they're all here tonight.
That's right. We have like a magnet here that we're drawing them. We got a good thing going, man.
Well, and now, as we talked about last week or a couple weeks ago, the soccer program now has its own field, and you know, things are definitely on the move here. And is it too late to join the Gridiron Club?
No, if you join now, your membership would even include next year.
Okay.
So you would get the benefits of the rest of this year, plus you would get next year.
How can people get more information, or how can they?
Well, they can go to our website. They can call me.
Which website is?
As Sumrall Gridiron.
Well, that would make sense, right?
I just go to Sumrall Gridiron, or go to the school and get on to the athletics and go to football, and you'll see all the information you need right there.
And one of the advantages of the Sumrall Gridiron Club, and I don't mean this any disrespect, but when you quote unquote have to go through the school, there's purchase orders, there's you have to follow all that paperwork.
Right.
But the Gridiron Club is totally independent of the school, so the coaches have direct access to the Gridiron Club. So hey, Mr. Burnham, here's what we need.
Like last week, he said, hey, I need to order 100 of these powder blue shirts for our team so they can just have it just says Sumrall Football on it. You know, he said, hey, we're a booster club, pick it up. 10-4, son, order them. Man, let's get them here.
Well, it's. I know, speaking on behalf of the coaches, it sure is good to have that support, moral support, and certainly financial support as well. And James Byrne, we wish you continued success.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you do. And let me tell you about this man. Even on road trips, he will print up rosters for you.
Yes.
And walk throughout the Sumrall crowd, and so that you can follow the kids. With rosters, and sometimes who is that, and sometimes you can't see
everybody needs to know who everybody is.
And we try to let
every one of these young men is so special, and these young ladies, man, they're just jam up jelly tight. I'm here to tell you, man.
Jam up jelly tight. I wonder if that'll get into a song somewhere.
I don't know. It probably would. But we have a very good group, though.
And all the kids obviously have a roster number, but we want to try to call them by name as well, not just a number.
Right.
But good to see you, Mr.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Glad that you came up here tonight. And again, Sumrall Gridiron Club, you can search it on the web. You can find them on the website. Not too late to join. And look, I'm telling you, momentum it's rolling. Things are really rolling in Sumrall, and now the time is to
Come be a part of the Bobcat wave.
And it's going to happen. Hang with us for just a moment. Our halftime show brought to you by Grand Bank, the bankers at Grand Bank tell us that they have a lot of home loans in the Sumrall area, the fastest growing part of Lamar County. Obtaining a home loan is easier from your hometown bank, Grand Bank. Grand Bank has become the preferred choice for home buyers in the Pine Belt, wanting low interest rates and hometown service they can count on. Whether you're looking for your first home, your next home, or refinance your current home, Grand Bank will make it easy. Locally owned and operated, their home is right here, and they want to help you with yours. Stop by or give them a call at 264-1467. That's 264-1467. Grand Bank, your hometown lender, member FDIC, and glad to have Grand Bank with us on a halftime show. We're going step away for just a moment and let you see the Sumrall band perform here, and then we'll get back to a second half of action where the Sumrall Bobcats leading the Purvis Tornadoes 21-7 here at the Battle of 589. Now the Sumrall band, and we'll be back for second half action in just a bit.
Hey, kids. Are you kids up there?
Back at Lions Field tonight in Sumrall, where the Bobcats leading the Purvis Tornadoes 21 to 7. Want to get to all of our text messages now that we've got coming in on our text line at 601-310-7077. Micah Clinton is watching the game in Kuwait, and I don't think that's a suburb of Waynesboro. Kuwait, that's a country. So Micah, glad to have, I don't know what time in the morning it must be over there. I don't know if Kuwait is ahead of us or behind us time-wise, but no doubt it's probably an inconvenient time, but glad to have him along watching in Kuwait. Billy's grandparents, Johnny and Ann Jones, and his aunt and uncle Roger and Karen Welch are watching from Mendenhall like they do each week. Glad to have you guys along as well. From the 601 area code, they are listening to the game on their way to watch Southern Miss play at Jordan-Hare Stadium tomorrow in Auburn. That game is a 3 o'clock start on the SEC network. All of the military folks are being recognized tonight at halftime, as it is Military Appreciation Night. Always doing a great job of, and they just recognized Micah Clinton watching the game from Kuwait tonight. They're on the field. They're watching in Seminary tonight. Speaking of the Battle of 589, Mike Friend is watching from a platform in the Gulf of Mexico. So we've got people watching from Kuwait. We've got people watching from the Gulf of Mexico. We've heard from Louisiana. We've heard from Alabama tonight. Southern Miss fans headed over to Jordan-Hare have been checking in. Our trivia question tonight earlier was, there was only one other band besides the Beatles that had 3 #1 hits from the very first album they released. The Beatles was one. Who was the other one? Of course, it was Culture Club. Boy George and Culture Club. Richard Ezel is watching from El Dorado, Kansas, or El Dorado. I know it's El Dorado, Texas. Or maybe it's El Dorado, Kansas. But glad to have Richard Ezel along with us. And again, a special shout out to Micah Clinton, watching the game in Kuwait. He wasn't sure that his text was getting through, but rest assured, we know that he's watching and glad to have him along. (601-310-7077). The number to call, or to text rather, to let us know where you're watching the game from, and we'll be getting you up to date on scores from other games in the district. You had a 3-0 score between Poplarville and Greene County. That's a halftime score over in Leakesville. Oak Grove and Petal have gone to half, and it's 12-10. Oak Grove leading Petal 12-10. Lawrence County and Forest County, no score in the first. They must be having some type of lightning delay there. And Lumberton walloping East Marion 27-0. So getting ready to tee it up. And ready for a second half of play as Bryson Smith puts his right foot into it, and we are underway. And it comes to the near side, and the Tornadoes will watch it go out of bounds. Wayne Ray was there with a watchful eye. And it went out at the 14, so that will draw the penalty flag. And the Tornadoes will get a much better spot in which to start this series here in the second half, trailing 21-7. The Bobcats will travel to Monticello next week to take on the Lawrence County Cougars. Of course, district play, these are the ones that count. We've talked about it. We keep hammering that home, but it is so important. As you can be the greatest team in the world in pre-district, but it doesn't matter. It's what happens in these games ahead now. 1st and 10. Mason Kendrick at quarterback for the Purvis Tornadoes as they start from their own 35-yard line, working left to right. Kendrick with the snap on the give and go to Wayne Ray. Ray tries the left side, but finds it tough going. All teams find it tough going on that Sumrall defensive front. Solly Landrum having a great night. When you run an at Landrum and Justice Hanbury, you're not going to find a whole lot of room over there. Oh, and by the way, Eccles and Daniels are no trick or treat either on the other side of the line. 2nd down and 9 after the gain of 1. Kendrick wants to throw the ball, looks left, lofts this one to the air. It's a beautiful tight spiral, and it is incomplete. Nearly intercepted by Cocroft, who is back there in man-to-man coverage at about the 30-yard line. So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 9 with 11:18 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Coming up at the end of the game, the Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic postgame show. Special shout out to Dr. April Gilmore as there was a flag on the play. It was a hold against the Tornadoes, and there was some conjecture that the Bobcats would decline that penalty and make it 3rd and 10, but they'll give them 2nd down over again, but have a long way to go. So it is 2nd down. Remember, holding is a spot foul, so that's 10 yards from where it happened. So it's actually about a 23-yard loss. Well, a 13-yard loss. 2nd down and 23. Kendrick, a stretch play to the near side, and nowhere to go. Great defensive play. The Bobcats read it early on. And making the stop and reading it well was James Ford, who was in there from his linebacker position. So all the way back to the 15-yard line. It's a 3rd down and 30 now. Clock moving with 10:27 left to go in the 3rd. You would think that maybe the Tornadoes had just run a screen here or a draw just to get a little bit of the yardage back and then punt the football away. It's a bad snap. The ball is down. Kendrick fell on top of it, and then Landrum on top of him. Boy, what has gotten into Solomon Landrum tonight? He's a madman out there on the field, having a great defensive game. 4th down and forever for Purvis. So the Tornadoes will come in to kick it away. Jesse Johnson back there as a punter. Jesse Johnson, a terrific shortstop. He will punt it away for the Purvis Tornadoes. It's a wobbler that actually takes a Sumrall bounce. It hit at about the 43 and then came back to about the 40. And things got a little bit frisky there for a moment, but Sumrall will get it now. 1st and 10 in the Purvis end of the field at about the 40-yard line. This Purvis defense, Brandt Hankins putting 6 sophomores out there. So the Tornadoes planting some seeds that they hope will only get better as time goes on. On a 1st 10 situation. Odd formation here for the Bobcats. Strong left side. Dennis Jackson now looking to the sideline. He's got Tyreke Preston split to his left. 9 minutes, 14 seconds left to go. In the 3rd quarter, Sumrall in control of this one. 21-7, the battle of 5. 89. Jackson runs it right straight up the middle. A good spin move. Inside the 40 down to about the 37-yard line. Dennis Jackson, an Under Armour football player. He'll get to play in the National Showcase. The Under Armour Football Showcase. 2nd down and 6 after the game. 8 minutes, 50 seconds left to go in the 3rd. You see that clock and scoreboard inserted into the upper corner of your high-definition camera. So on second down, Tyreke Preston will try his luck this time. Up the middle again, had a small hurdle across the 35, and probably forward progress got down to the 34. We'll see where they spot it. But a third down play coming up, and Cole Daniels checking in, so that heavy package might be implemented here for Sumrall. But we talked about Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic. Dr. April Gilmore, who was April McGilvery back in the day when she was here at Sumrall, proud to support the post-game show, and we thank Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic, dedicated to helping you raise your child and taking care health-wise of your child from birth to adolescence. Third down and 4. Jackson on the direct snap, running to his right, has some blockers out in front of him, gets the first down and takes himself out of bounds at about the 28, it would appear. So that is a Bobcat first down. Cronin checking in for the Rawcats along with Hayden the Lionhearted, Hayden Barrett. One of the things that Purvis wanted to do was try to be methodical and systematically move the ball down the field to where Sumrall's offense couldn't get its hands on the ball. But a couple of turnovers have proved costly. Dennis Jackson rolls, now wants to throw, and he overthrows Tyreke Preston at about the 20. Preston was able to get a hand on it, but couldn't haul it in. Sandifer on the coverage for Purvis along with Brandon Hartfield. It'll be second down and 10. The incompletion stops the clock here in the third quarter. Purvis got the football to begin the third quarter, but a disastrous first series. And the Sumrall defense, really ignited by some great plays, pushed the Tornadoes backward. And here's where Sumrall is now on a second down and 10. Preston to the left of Jackson. It's a low snap. Quickly throws out here to Cocroft. Cocroft with a nice move down the sideline, keeps his feet, and Cocroft is tackled down at the 5-yard line. Making the touchdown-saving tackle was Abron Sandifer. But we've got a block in the back on Sumrall. A flag came in late. A block in the back on the Bobcats will bring this one back. So usually when things happen like that, there's a good reason for it. It's either executed very well or very poorly. A block in the back, and you can't do that, obviously. So they'll get the down over again. That's the good news, but the bad news is it's second down and 13. Sumrall Bobcats with its first series of the third quarter, looking to up its record to 7-0 on the year. Jackson on the snap from Failer, rolls to his right, now dumps it back to the left to Tyreke Preston. Preston, nice tackle at about the 26-yard line. Bringing him down was Hunter Robinson. Robinson from his strong safety position brought Preston down. It looks like it'll be about 3rd and 7 now. 3rd and 7. The football's at the 26-yard line. Right now it would be a 43-yard field goal. Be interesting to see if Shannon White would use Bryson Smith in this situation if they don't get any yardage. Dennis Jackson rolls to his right, wants to throw, directing traffic, gets away from a man, away from another one, and now is dropped at the 30, and that may have taken them out of field goal range now, because it would be a 47-yard kick, so they're kind of in no man's land here at 4th down. 6:27 and working here in the third quarter. The Sumrall Bobcats and the Purvis Tornadoes. The battle of 589. And usually the visiting team has done, when you look at the history of this series, the visiting team has done pretty well. There hasn't been a whole lot of home field advantage in this series, particularly about the past 10 years or so. Trip receiver stacked to the near side of the field for Dennis Jackson with Tyreke Preston to his right. 7 seconds left on the play clock. Now he moves Preston to his left. 3 seconds left on that play clock. On 4th down, Jackson wants to go for it, and he overthrows Hayden Barrett. It'll be a turnover on downs. And Purvis takes over 1st and 10. Coming up at the end of the game, the Dandy Dan Chevron in Sumrall and Bellevue. Offensive and defensive players of the game, and the Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic post-game show. Children's Clinic is open daily and offers immunizations, monitors your child's growth and development, and treats a wide range of childhood illnesses. Call Hattiesburg Clinic at 261-3500, Hattiesburg Clinic at 261-3500 to schedule an appointment, or just go to hattiesburgclinic.com. Children's Clinic, care you need for the children you love. Petal and Oak Grove have gone to half, as we mentioned there. Lumberton now leading East Marion 27-0. That is in the third quarter. Poplarville now stepping on the gas pedal against Greene County. It is 17-0 Poplarville. That game is over in Leakesville. 17-0 Hornets. Again, Oak Grove leading Petal 12-10. All of our scores brought to you by our friends at Primerica Financial Services. So the Tornadoes get to work offensively. They have the football at their own 31-yard line. Mason Kendrick hands it off, looking for some room to this near side of the field as a flag comes down. Big gain up across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. Nice run on the play there by Ty Baden, but I think this one's coming back. The flag was thrown right at the interior of the offensive line, which almost 100% of the time is a holding call. So the Tornadoes have been getting in their own way here in the third quarter. 5 minutes, 28 seconds left to go. Good old Uncle Ernie has checked in tonight. And, of course, Uncle Ernie says, go Tweeter. And we have learned that that is Hayden the Lion-Hearted Barrett. So glad to have Uncle Ernie with us in seminary tonight. Now they'll try the middle part of the line. Not a whole lot of room there as Justice Hanberry makes the initial contact and gets the tackle for Sumrall. After a menial gain of a couple of yards. Brings up 2nd down. Sumrall leading Purvis 21-7 with 5:07 left to go here in the third quarter. See Billy Garrity down there on the sideline with just a crutch now. He used to be a lot more handicapped than he is now, but getting around a little with just one crutch. Boy, you don't realize how important it is to be able to move until you can't do it. Trying to string out the Sumrall defense to the near side, up to about the 25-yard line is the ball carrier, Wayne Ray. Devin Goolsby was in there on the stop along with James Ford for Sumrall. So it'll bring up 3rd down and about 17. Checking in, Tate Davis. From the 601, shout out to Joshua Allen. Dad Glenn Allen is watching tonight from work in Jeff Davis County. Well, so far the news has been good. But a big 3rd down and long play here, about 3rd and 17. Kendrick wants to pass, does across the middle, it's incomplete. He was looking to hit Hayden Keith cutting across the middle, but he was under siege and had to get rid of it perhaps before he was ready. So the Tornadoes will kick it away. Dennis Jackson will be in the area of the 50-yard line. Jesse Johnson, the punter for Purvis back there. Johnson, 6'4" junior. Really a good-looking athlete. The left-footed kick is away. Jackson will catch it at about the 47-yard line. A lot of Tornadoes are there, but Jackson takes himself out of the play at about the midfield stripe. So with 3:42 left to go, it'll be a short field for Sumrall at the 49. Purvis, I think, will celebrate homecoming next week. Homecoming on campus here at Sumrall is not until the 19th of October. Homecoming's always a special week. Although the kids now say that prom is a bigger deal than homecoming. Back when I was a kid, back when everything was in black and white instead of color, it's on TV I'm talking about, and movies. Homecoming was a big thing. 1st and 10. Fakes the handoff to Cockcroft. Dennis Jackson will run it to the near side. Now shifts gears, and here's another penalty flag at the line of scrimmage. Jackson was wrestled down by Carson Morris. It's a hold against the powder blue. So Sumrall will go backwards here with 3:33 left to go in the third, protecting a 21-7 lead, but wanting to extend that lead. Next week I will be gone, but Caleb Hamill will be here. I think you're going to like Caleb Hamill and his play-by-play delivery. He'll be here. Well, actually, he'll be in Monticello as Sumrall takes on Lawrence County, and then Lord willing, I'll be back for the rest of the campaign all the way to the state championship at M.M. Roberts Stadium. First down. Give and go to Preston. Big hole right side. Preston flying up the middle and actually slipped at about the 39. Johnson was there to tackle him if he needed to, but just lost his footing at about the 40. So they got that yardage for the penalty and 9 more on top of it with 2:46 left to go here in the third quarter. Dandy Dan's in Bellevue and Sumrall. Glad to be with us on our webcast and proud to sponsor the offensive and defensive players of the game. Bad snap. We've got some movement, and this will go against Sumrall. Some movement, it looked like a couple of the linemen actually moved, but the ball wasn't snapped. So Sumrall with 2 steps forward and 1 step back. So second down and about 7. Clock moving with 2:15 left to go. Strong side left, Tyreke Preston on the right. They give it to Preston. Starts to the left and then weaves his way back to the middle, inside the 40 down to about the 37-yard line. That's about where he needed to get for a first down. We'll see where they spot the football. Boy, that is really close. And now the official indication is that it is a Bobcat first down. Clock moving with 1:55 left to go here in the third. The Bobcats with a 2-touchdown lead are in no big hurry to get anything done here, but this offense so prolific could just like that make it a 3-score lead. Landrum in the game, wing right. Cockcroft in motion, but Jackson will keep it himself. Dennis to the near side and takes himself out of the play at about the 31-yard line. Jackson being very prudent so that he knows that he's actually playing quarterback because of the injury to Billy Garrity, and the last thing he wants to do is get injured, particularly when it could be avoided. 2nd down and 2 after the gain of 8 as we get near 1 minute left to go in the third quarter. Tyreke Preston, who had a great game last week, is in there, and they give it to him this time. And he finds some pretty tough sledding, but is able to dodge 3 or 4 tornadoes and gets down to about the 25-yard line. Nice job by Tyreke Preston, who kept churning those legs and getting all the yardage that he could, and one of the tornadoes is down at about the 24-yard line. So they'll have a look at him there. Thanks to our sponsors, included in that list. Dandy Dan's in Bellevue and in Sumrall, right across from the middle school. They're open at 6 a.m. Different types of fuel there, and always fresh hot coffee with a great variety of choices there. Of course, the big flavor this time of year, I guess, is pumpkin spice. Everybody likes, particularly in September and October, you get closer to Halloween. And the player that is down for the Tornadoes is Carson Morris, but he's walking himself off the field. That's always good news. But it is a fresh set of downs for the Tornadoes. Cole Daniels and Solomon Landrum have been in and out of the game offensively. Tate Davis, who's really blossoming it into a terrific player. He's just a junior. Tate Davis has got another year to go. Christian Clinton over there. So it is first down. One of the Tornadoes jumped there, and I think there was contact, and this is going to cost the Tornadoes 5 yards. 42 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. So we'll see what the Bobcats decide to do here. On first down and 5 from the 20-yard line. You would think, unless an absolute disaster would happen, if the Rawcats put another one up, it would be tough for Purvis to overcome. Dennis Jackson with a nice cut to the inside. Gets down to about the 5-yard line. Jesse Johnson brought him down. So that'll be another first down for the Rawcats, and they'll have it at the 5-yard line with a first and goal. East Marion has put up a touchdown. Lumberton leading East Marion 27-8. Poplarville has extended its lead over Greene County. It is now 17-0. All of our scores brought to you by our friends at Primerica Financial Services. Handoff up the middle. Tyreke Preston gets across the goal line. He fumbled it, but not until after he hit pay dirt. That's a Bobcat touchdown. So Preston with his second touchdown of the game. And that actually ends the quarter. So Bryson Smith will come on to add the extra point, try to tack it on and put up his fourth point of the game. I think the Tornadoes might have been offsides, but no flag down. The kick is good. So they'll kick it off here in a moment. Again, next week, the Bobcats will go to Monticello to take on the Lawrence County Cougars. We've been trying to get a score out of Forest County tonight. I don't know if they had some weather issues, but no score to report in that game. Oak Grove and Petal now have just kicked off in the third quarter. And Oak Grove leading that game 12-10. That's a big game for both of those teams. As they began district play last week, Petal was beaten by Pearl. And Oak Grove beat George County. So if Oak Grove hangs on to win that game, the Warriors go 2-0 in district, and Petal would drop to 0-2. So Bryson Smith to kick this one away. Daryl Perkins is watching on YouTube tonight. He's a Sumrall alum, class of 82, checking in. 82 was a good year, wasn't it? Watching in seminary tonight. Actually, Purvis played seminary earlier this year. Bulldogs have a good team there with Coach Brian Riles. Smith's kick is a worm burner that's fielded on the run at about the 24-yard line. And a nice advancement up across the 40 to the 42 by Casey Burge. And boy, here come penalty flags flying everywhere. Look out. Got a little pushing and shoving going on there at the 40-yard line. But I mean, penalty flags aplenty. It would not surprise me if this is unsportsmanlike on both teams. But I didn't see an indication either way. Just underway here in the fourth quarter. Sumrall leading at 28-7. They're going to kick this again? No. The Sumrall defense. The penalty was against Sumrall, but we never really got the indication as to exactly what it was. You would just think, because the flags flew in that area with guys kind of up in each other's faces, that it was probably an unsportsmanlike against Sumrall. But the bottom line is the Tornadoes will start 1st and 10 from the Rollcat 47, but have a lot of work to do. Trailing in this game 28-7. Handoff left side, spinning is Wayne Ray, carrying some Bobcats with him after a gain of 8. Nice play there by Ray in the quack attack. Carson Duck on the tackle for Sumrall. Updating the Primerica Financial Services scoreboard, Lawrence County 35, Forest County nothing. That is a halftime score. Lawrence County 35, Forest County nothing. And that's homecoming on campus at Brooklyn. And Lawrence County is who Sumrall will play next week. 2nd down and a yard. Kendrick wants to throw. Does across the middle. Incomplete, going for his tight end. Through in between coverage there. Bennett was the intended receiver, but both Duck and Goolsby there for Sumrall. Incomplete, brings up a 3rd down and a yard. With 11:04 left to go in this one. Opening night of district play in Region 7 4A. All the games from here on out are district games. And then the playoffs begin. 3rd down and short. Kendrick wants to run this one himself and gets the yardage, but a penalty flag comes down. Kendrick actually worked his way out of the pile, but the whistles were blowing to stop his progress. We'll see who this is against. One of the Bobcats is down at about the 36-yard line. Still no indication as to who the penalty is on. Fairman, Adarius Fairman, was the man that was down. It's against Purvis. It is a hold against the Tornadoes. So they had harvested a 1st down, excuse me, but now they've got a long way to go. Third down and about 11. Sumrall leads at 28-7. And I wouldn't think, even though they've got a lot of work to do, that they would go for it on 4th down if they don't get it here. Kendrick rolls to his left, wants to run, and he runs right into the quack attack. Carson Duck throws him down with authority after a pickup of about 2. So it brings up a 4th down and about 9. And Purvis wants to talk it over. So the Tornadoes will, with 10 minutes and 8 seconds left to go. We'll see if I mean, they have to come up with 3 scores, but if you don't get it here, you are assuredly giving Sumrall another short field. Lumberton has put up another touchdown. The Panthers lead East Marion 34-8. Poplarville has scored again, but so too has Greene County. Poplarville 24, Greene County 7. They have gone to the 4th quarter there. Lumberton 34, East Marion 8. All of our scores brought to you by our friends at Primerica Financial Services. Mike Landrum and his staff proud to support Sumrall Bobcat football, and his boy is showing out tonight. Solomon Landrum. On both sides of the ball. Solomon, just a great kid, too. Every chance he gets, he goes out of his way. If I'm at practice or in the field house or wherever, he will go out of his way to come up and shake my hand and say hello. The third of 3 Landrum boys, and a legacy here at Sumrall with both of his brothers playing football ahead of him. 4th down and 10. The Tornadoes act like they'll go for it here. Kendrick wants to throw, does. Pass out into the flat is caught, but slipping short of the first down yardage is the receiver, Brandon Hartfield. Tough break for the Tornadoes really there, because Hartfield had some room to pick up that yardage, but he slipped. So Sumrall takes over on downs, 1st and 10 from its own 39-yard line. Dennis Jackson at the controls with Tyreke Preston with him in the backfield. Zane Berry to the far side of the field. He's got a touchdown tonight. Good to see him back at 100%, even though he still has that brace on his knee. Jackson throws, looking for a receiver at the 50-yard line. Cocroft was the intended receiver. It was incomplete. In pass protection, or in pass defense there for the Tornadoes was Abron Sandifer. 2nd down and 10. 9:43 left to go in this game. Our Dandy Dans Chevron in Bellevue and Sumrall. We've got offensive and defensive players of the game to name, and then the Hattiesburg Children's Clinic post-game show as Dennis Jackson tries to find some running room but can't, as he's dropped for no gain again by Sandifer. Sandifer's having a great game at linebacker for the Tornadoes, who trail 28-7 with 9:20 left to go in this game. Southern Miss tomorrow at Auburn. That's a 3 o'clock start. You can see that game on the SEC network. Dan Mullen returns to Starkville when he takes the Gators to Mississippi State. Hotty Toddy and LSU don't start until 8:15 tomorrow night. Don't start until 8:15 tomorrow night. Looks like there was some movement on the line, but Sumrall had called a timeout prior to that. So if Ole Miss and LSU aren't starting until 8:15 tomorrow night, you know that the partying at Baton Rouge will be starting, well, actually right about now. in time for an 8:15 kickoff tomorrow night. The Battle of 589 firmly in control of the Sumrall Bobcats, who are looking to go 7-0. Again, 30 years since the Sumrall team has performed on the ledger like this one has. Next week at Lawrence County, and then the week after that, the big one at Poplarville. And the Hornets have been, Poplarville has been king of the hill the past 3 or 4 years, and winning tonight at Greene County. 3rd down and about 8. Dennis Jackson play action, rolls to his right, throws. He's got a man open. It was Cole Daniels, of all people. Cole Daniels was there at the 45-yard line and was wide open, but just could not hang on to it. So Cole Daniels shows that he's human. On 4th down, the punting unit will come in, and Payne Phillips will come in, the senior, who's also a baseball player for Larry Knight. He'll come in to boot it away. And Jesse Johnson back at about the 25-yard line for Purvis will await the boot from Phillips. Good snap. Limited pressure. Phillips a low liner that Johnson will pick up at the 25-yard line, and then gets hit at the 35 as he got up there. And knocking him down was the Italian stallion, TJ Varnado. With 8:29 left to go in the game. Tornadoes have a lot of work to do, and it's almost all uphill, particularly when you're working against this very talented Sumrall defense. A good mixture on this defensive unit for Sumrall of oldsters and youngsters. Hayden Barrett, we've hardly called his name at all tonight. He's in the secondary for Sumrall, a.k.a. Tweeter, on 1st down and 10. Mason Kendrick, play action, rolls to his right. Throws across the middle, incomplete. He was looking for a man cutting across the middle. That was Hayden Keith. The quack attack, Carson Duck was there on the defense for Sumrall, incomplete. It brings up a 2nd down and 10 now. The Tornadoes trying to mount a consistent drive, and in times that they have been able to move the football, they've hurt themselves with really inopportune penalties. Kendrick on the pitch sweep to Hartfield. Hartfield wrestled down at the 35, no gain there. In the area for Sumrall was Caden Greenwood. So was Adarius Fairman. 3rd down and 10. Just under 8 minutes left to go in the game. Sumrall in control, 28-7. Mason Kendrick, the senior quarterback. Ty Howell, the very talented quarterback last year for Purvis, graduated. So they've had to make some replacements, a young team. And now Kendrick is befuddled about something, so he will call timeout. Brandt Hankins, the head coach at Purvis, a long line of coaches in that Hankins family, uncles and dads, and don't be surprised if his son Carter, who led Forest County AHS to a state championship a few years ago, don't be surprised if he winds up coaching football at some level. Brad's wife Shannon and children Carter and daughter Caroline. Both of his kids are at Southern Miss now, but the Tornadoes behind here, 28-7. And the Sumrall defense going out there to work again with 7:36 left to go. The Sumrall defense is deep. It's talented. And they've been pretty lucky injury-wise so far this year. Bobcats have stayed pretty healthy, and that is such a big piece of any football puzzle. 4 down linemen on 3rd down and 10. Kendrick to his left. Can't find anybody and is swarmed under. It's Tate Davis. Tate Davis maybe on a delayed blitz. Maybe a stunt on the line, got through there and took him down. So the Tornadoes are saying, we get it. We're going to kick it away. Johnson will be back in punt formation. And Dennis Jackson back to field it for Sumrall should he be needed. No pressure at all by the Bobcats. And boy, Johnson put this one right off the side of his foot. This is not a good punt. And as soon as he kicked it, you saw Johnson kind of grab his left foot. Was that about an 8-yard punt? Something like that? 15-yard punt. So Sumrall takes over on offense. Dennis Jackson back out there to lead the way. Tyreke Preston in the backfield. Tate Davis now also playing offense. Tate Davis is a player, I'm telling you. He's a junior. He's a good, consistent producer on each side of the ball. And that offensive line, which in any football situation, offensive lines don't get near the credit. Cockcroft in motion, fakes it. Dennis Jackson runs it. Jackson to the sideline. Out he goes at about the 30. And I credit Purvis here a lot, too, because, you know, you're down in this game 28-7. You got Dennis Jackson. Sometimes you got a free shot at him. And sometimes, football is just an aggressive game. But as soon as Jackson heads for the sideline, the Tornadoes pull off the gas, knowing that he's going to go out of bounds, and no sense in hitting anybody unnecessarily or getting a stupid penalty. 6:38 left to go in the game. Jackson picked up 8 on the play. It's 2nd down and 2. Cockcroft again in motion, and he heads up the field, but they throw it to him. Cockcroft gets away from one tackler, but is wrapped up by a second and dropped down at the 20-yard line. Cade Sherrill on the tackle for Purvis as they move the chains, and the Bobcats have a 1st down. James Ford checking out of the ball game, and now a officials timeout. And I think they might put the heat. They might use the heat timeout here with 6:27 left to go in the game. So let's update the. We'll update the Primerica Financial Services scoreboard. Greene County inching closer to Poplarville, but it's in the 4th quarter. Poplarville 24, Greene County 14. That is a 4th quarter score over in Leakesville. Lumberton maintains its 34-8 lead over East Marion. Homecoming on campus at East Marion. And Petal has just hit the end zone again. In the 3rd quarter, Petal leads Oak Grove 16-12. Petal 16, Oak Grove 12 in the 3rd. All of our scores brought to you by our friends at Primerica Financial Services. So it is a 1st down for Sumrall. Zane Berry, you see him to the near side of the field here at about the 21-yard line. Sumrall working left to right. Dennis Jackson with the talented Tyreke Preston to his right. Great snap from Failer. They give it right to Tyreke Preston, but he was brought down immediately by Wayne Ray. The Tornadoes blow up that play. They saw it coming and actually lost a yard on the play. 2nd down and 11. I would be shocked to see Sumrall go to the air anymore with about 5 or so minutes left in this ball game. Just try to work that clock down. But we'll see. It is the battle of 589 after all. But Sumrall in firm control of this one, 28-7. 2nd down, they give it to Cockcroft. Cockcroft looking for a block out front, gets one. Cockcroft then gets bounced out at about the 6-yard line. That'll be a Bobcat 1st down. Nice block out front. And I think that actually might have been Tyreke Preston with the block. Tate Davis in the ball game now. He will be on the left end. Cockcroft to the right side here. It'll be a go to Preston again. Tyreke inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line. And Sumrall just taking its time. The Bobcats working the clock. 5 minutes left to go now. Sumrall leading 28-7 over Lamar County rival Purvis. Lawrence County was winning big tonight in Brooklyn against the Aggies. It was 35-0. Lawrence County, a good team. Tyreke Preston, a waltz into the end zone. That's a Bobcat touchdown. So coming in to kick the extra point here will be Kerrigan Childs. And Kerrigan is a left-footed kicker, so everything is kind of reverse as far as the holder goes. For the right-footed kicker, the holder's on this other side. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Kerrigan Childs puts it right through the uprights. 4 minutes, 40 seconds left to go in the game. .440 left to go. We're going to try to reframe your camera so you get the time left in there so you can follow it. There you go. Now you ought to be able to see exactly how much time is left, but I'll stay on top of it for you as well. Wolfman over here to my left handling the statistics. And if they're not from Wolfman, they're not official. Bryson Smith to kick it away. The partying already starting below us here. A jam-packed Lions field tonight in Sumrall. Smith to boot it away. A 35-7 Bobcat lead, taken by an up man by the name of Brandon Hartfield, who gets across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. 4 minutes, 29 seconds left to go. And we always appreciate you guys checking in with us. Actually, one of you viewers texted us and said, can't see the time clock. We can see a score or two, but we can't see how much time is left. So it's good that you let us know, keep us honest. So now you can count it down with us. Sumrall with a 35-7 lead, and I think right here now they might be taking the heat timeout. Sumrall Lawn Care, one of our sponsors, Richie and Jim Sumrall, thank you for your support. They know how to make your home landscape a winner all year round, not just football season. Be the envy of the neighborhood. Entrust to the professionals at Sumrall Lawn Care, sponsors of the Sumrall Lawn Care Red Zone. And State Farm Insurance agent Stacy Clark Temple. Her oldest son Sam and now Sully playing for Sumrall. We thank Stacy Clark Temple so much and her insurance agency for supporting Bobcat football on the web. 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes. The handoff to Wayne Ray. And Ray gets ahead for a gain of about a yard or so, maybe two. And I would think here, too, that maybe the Tornadoes would also just try to work the clock. Puerto on the tackle for Sumrall as we work our way toward 4 minutes left to go in the game. 2nd down and 8. From the far hash mark in front of the Purvis bench, the Tornadoes working right to left. Again, it's Ray. Ray across the 50-yard line stripe into Sumrall's end of the field, and Tyler Daniels, the freshman, in the ball game for Sumrall, and wraps him up. Short of a first down by a couple, so 3rd down and 2 for Sumrall. The Sumrall defense. Purvis with the pigskin. They try the left side, wrapped him up. It'll be close. But I think Ty Baden probably got the first down. We'll see where they spot it. No, the officials say he's short. So 4th down and maybe half a yard. 3:07 left to go in the game. If the Sumrall defense can come up with a big play here, that's about all she wrote. Strength against strength here as they load the box. Ray plunges forward for a first down to about the 45-yard line. James Ford in there on the stop for Sumrall, but it is enough for the Tornadoes to move the chains. Josh Allen checking into the game now for Sumrall. He's in there defensively. So on a 1st and 10 play with 2:23 left to go and the clock moving, the Tornadoes to work. I think he wanted to hand it off, but nobody was there to give it to, and Mason Kendrick had to try to make lemonade out of lemons there and maybe got a yard. And Nick Eccles on the tackle, or not Nick Eccles rather, but Caden Greenwood. Only a gain of a yard. 1 minute and 48 seconds left to go in the game. And it looks again like the Tornadoes will just be content to try to work some plays offensively. And if they can hit a big play, then by all means take it. But Sumrall has this game in hand. On the handoff, it's Wayne Ray. Look out. Almost a horse collar, but nice job by the Sumrall defense to swarm. And that might have been Tweeter over there. Ford was over there as well. And Hayden the Lionhearted. Loss on the play of about 4 brings up 3rd down and about 12. As we get near the 1 minute mark left to go in the ball game. The Sumrall Bobcats are on the cusp of going 7-0. And again, not to beat that smelly old dead horse, but you got to remember, it's only been done one other time in school history. And that was 30 years ago, more than a generation ago. 3rd down. Handoff up the middle. Plenty of room on the first down there for Ray. Or actually Ty Baden on the carry there. But I thought it was enough for the first down. So 4th and 2, but there's only 13 seconds left. First down carry by Baden is made, but James Ford was on his back, and Josh Allen was there on his back as well. Once they moved the chains, which they did, the clock runs out. 35-7. Sumrall wins the Battle of 589. Final score of 35-7. Dandy Dan's Chevron in Bellevue sponsors the defensive player of the game, whether it's the always fresh and hot coffees to Miss Betty's sausage and egg biscuits. Dandy Dan's in Bellevue has your quick start covered. Open at 5 a.m. every morning for you. 5 a.m. Dandy Dan sponsoring the defensive player of the game. Solomon Landrum again. As you'd expect seniors to come through, Solomon Landrum gets the most votes tonight. And offensively, as Dandy Dan's Chevron and Sumrall sponsoring the offensive player of the game, interestingly, with this great team effort, the offensive line is going to be saluted tonight. Every member of the offensive line getting awarded the offensive players of the game tonight. Because you talk to the running backs, you talk to Dennis Jackson, they all say the same thing. We're nothing without this line. So tonight, the offensive line gets the offensive players of the game as you see the student body for Sumrall running onto the field to hail to the victors, the winners of the 589 trophy, so to speak, with a win 35-7 over Purvis. So thanks to Dandy Dan's in Bellevue and Sumrall for sponsoring the offensive and defensive players of the game. And Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic Sponsoring the post-game show, Children's Clinic open daily and offering immunizations, monitoring your child's growth and development, and treating a wide range of childhood illnesses. Give them a call at 261-3500 to schedule an appointment. Always on the web at hattiesburgclinic.com. So with this win, Sumrall now goes to 7-0, but more importantly, 1-0 in region play. The Tornadoes dropped to 1-5 and 0-1. Poplarville was on its way to a win, so that would make Poplarville 5-1, 1-0. Lawrence County was winning big, 35-0 at half. So the Cougars would go 5-2, 1-0 in district play. Greene County would drop to 4-3, 0-1, and the Aggies of Brooklyn would go 1-6, 0-1. So as a lot of people expected, the teams at the top of the heap, Poplarville, Sumrall, and Lawrence County. But Lawrence County and Sumrall will battle next Friday night. One of those teams will drop from the undefeated rankings in Region 7-4A because they will play each other next Friday night in Monticello. And I will be out of town, but our boy Caleb Hamill, as we're going in the huddle of Sumrall there.
Okay, Kelly, I got Solomon here.
That is neat to be able to hear them right in the huddle there. You see them lifting their helmets. Sumrall wanted those powder blue uniforms, and they've played well. But Caleb Hamill will join you next week as they break the pile there now. And Solomon Landrum, can you hear me?
I can.
What got into you tonight, babe? What a game!
Just knew what was on the line. You had to step up and make a lot of big plays. I think that's what we did.
Yeah, but offense, you were playing on both sides of the ball tonight. When Purvis was in key situations, you were able to really get through the offensive line of Purvis. Anything special that you did to get through defensively, or how did that work? Tell me what you saw.
I think a lot of it was just my technique tonight. Working my feet and making at the point of contact early with my hands.
You guys have to be really fired up in the sense that you saw this crowd tonight. I don't know if it had to have been a record crowd on hand for the Battle of 589. You guys are rolling now. Poplarville was on its way to a win. Lawrence County was winning big. You get the Cougars next. What's the team feeling like right now? Sal, you're a senior, one of the leaders on this team. Tell me what's up.
We're pumped. This is definitely a first-time thing around here, so we're definitely excited about that, and we're ready for whoever's next.
Now, you're clearly the best of the Solomon boys, right? Or the Landrum boys, I should say.
I appreciate it.
No, I'm asking you.
Hey, I'm going to let you ask them.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't want to get in trouble.
I'm going to let you ask them.
Okay, but man, continue to enjoy this season, and
yes,
congratulations on a superb effort tonight.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You bet. Solomon Landrum,
all right,
the defensive player of the game, and the entire offensive line was credited tonight with the Dandy Dan Chevron offensive player because that line was really good at opening up holes for Tyreke Preston and Dennis Jackson. And you can see the party started about a half an hour ago when it was clear that Sumrall was going to win, and it continues at the 50-yard line here tonight at Lions Field. The final score again, the Sumrall Bobcats 35, the Purvis Tornadoes 7. Sumrall, the winners of the 589 trophy, 7-0 on the season, 1-0 in District 7-4A. They will travel to Monticello next Friday night to take on the Cougars. That should be a fireworks show. Caleb Hamill will be in for me next Friday night, but I will join you 2 weeks from tonight at a game down in, Pop Vegas 2 weeks from tonight. So these next two games, huge for Sumrall. Hope that you'll be able to be there. Yes, sir, Richard.
See if we can get a word from Coach White.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Coach White, can you hear me?
Okay. Kelly.
Coach, can you hear me?
Got you, Kelly.
Give me your overall report card for both sides of the ball tonight, your offense and your defense.
Well, obviously our defense is an A. Just an outstanding job. They control the line of scrimmage. They've been doing that every week, really, and just a lot of turnovers. Offensively, we're either really good or not so good. We just have 2 or 3 series a game where we just go backwards and not look sharp, and then we have those most of the time. We look pretty good. So just we're not consistent on that side of the ball yet, but 35 points we'll take that every Friday night. Purvis has got a good, solid team, and they're physical, always are. And no different tonight.
Yeah, they've put some offensive linemen over the years that have been really good. The perspective from the coaches and the players sometimes differ, but talking to the guys prior to the game tonight, they said this was probably, in their view, the overall best week of practice that they've had all season. Your thoughts?
No doubt, and we saw that. We talked about that as a coach. We told our players that too. We always evaluate practice and let them know how that's going, and we felt like every day this week was really good, and it was at the attention to detail was really outstanding, and the effort in practice was good. I thought the coaches had a great game plan, and it was a great week of practice. Kelly, but I'll tell you what, I've seen that usually is a good indicator. It's not always. I've had great practices and bad games and vice versa, but most of the time it works out that way. So we certainly played like we practiced, that's for sure.
Well, we've talked about a football season really containing 3 seasons within a season: the pre-district, the district season, and then the postseason, and a great start for your team tonight. And it looks like Lawrence County is rolling at Forest County. They were up 35-0 at half down in Brooklyn. Yeah. This Lawrence County team is very good.
They're big and physical, got speed. I mean, we knew this was going to happen, and we knew they had a young team last year that was very talented, so they're going to be hard to deal with. And we'll spend all weekend getting ready for them as coaches, and Monday go to work. And this league here is a lot like the SEC. You got Georgia one week and Florida or somebody like that. So it's tough. We'll enjoy this one, no doubt.
I was just going to say,
got to move on.
Enjoy it, Coach, and continued success.
Yeah, thank you a lot, Kelly. Appreciate it.
All right, Shannon White with the victory tonight. Again, Sumrall, the winners of the 589 championship for this year, 35-7. Over Purvis. Thank you for joining us wherever you were watching from Kuwait or on an oil platform in the Gulf of Mexico or the states of Texas, Alabama, Louisiana, wherever you were from. Thank you for making football in Sumrall special. That'll do it tonight. From next week, when we join you from Monticello, it'll be the Bobcats of Sumrall against the Cougars of Lawrence County. For producer Jeremy Thompson, and I guess Richard Thompson tonight doing a little producing down on the field. We thank him for his help. I'm Kelly Sander. Thanks for joining us. You've been watching Sumrall Bobcat football on our Sumrall Athletics YouTube channel.